Hey, I'm Tyler at Bikerumor, and this is my one ride review of the 2017 Eddy Merckx Strasbourg gravel bike. Strasbourg has been in their line for a year or more, but this is a brand new version of it for 2017 with a lot of killer upgrades for the gravel adventure bike market. Starting at the very front of the bike, you've got a big tapered head tube, a well-shaped down tube, a lot of angles that keep it really stiff. And all of the cables, wires, and everything else are all internal with some very nice guides. And yes, there is a little plug for that Di2 for it, but this is a demo bike and it gets beaten all to hell, so it's missing. Going down the down tube, you've got 4 water bottle mounts, letting you run a bottle in any position or adding accessories underneath the main bottle, and 2 more water bottle mounts on the seat tube. A handy little chain catcher keeps things from going south on the really rough roads. We rode this on some single track over a lot of roots and rocks and never once dropped the chain. In the back, you've got some nicely flattened seat stays that do a good job of soaking up the bumps, coming down to a stout chainstay with a nice through axle and flat mount rear brakes. There's quite a few features that make the Strasbourg a good gravel adventure bike. The first is adequate tire clearance. The second is fender and rack mounts, front and rear. So here you've got lower mount, come up, and the upper mounts are hidden inside of the seat stays. Go to the fork, and you've got the same thing. It's hidden on the inside of the fork leg and up behind the crown of the fork. So without them, your bike is going to look really clean. With them, they'll support the load of some normal touring gear. The third killer feature is the addition of a Kevlar strike plate to protect against rocks flying up off the wheel. Even though it looks like it stops above the bottom bracket, it actually wraps all the way under and continues up the back side of the seat tube. At 6 feet 2 inches tall, this size large is a little bit small for me. I was getting some toe overlap, and the effective top tube is only 56.5 centimeters. So there's a little bit longer stem on this bike, and we've definitely maxed out the seat post. But it rode really well, handled super agile in the single track, and out on the gravel roads it could hammer along and plow through all the little ruts, stutter bumps, and other big rocks that you might encounter on a normal gravel kind of backcountry ride. And if you run into some single track, it's going to do really well too. Overall, I'm really digging this bike. I think it's well thought out. There's a lot of killer features you don't find on most gravel adventure bikes. Things like the rack mounts, fender mounts, Kevlar protection, and all that add up to a really nice package. This is a bike I'd like to ride for a longer period of time on my own adventures. So, head on over to bikerumor.com for the full review, lots of photos and links to our Interbike coverage with more of the technical specs on this new model.